Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another episode of Trudge Report. This is a recovery-based podcast, but you know this by now. If you're not sober or you're not ready to be sober, don't you worry. We have plenty of other stuff we talk about, including sports, trending topics, a good bit of nonsense, the way Cory folds his underwear. My name is Sean and I am your host. I'm joined by my good friends and fellow trudgers, Bill, Cory, and Greg. Please remember to listen on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Our videos will be posted each week so you can watch episodes on YouTube and Facebook. But as always, please be sure to download on your listening platforms. Remember to like and subscribe on all social media outlets with the handle @TrudgeReportPod. We are brought to you by Stella Mix Podcast Management and our wonderful producer and editor, Miss Janine Stella. Gentlemen, good evening. Happy Sunday. Fair warning to all who the millions and millions that listen to our show. We are recording 3 episodes in about a 4-day span starting today, which is Sunday, December 15th. They will each be released every Thursday in succession to fulfill, to round out the end of the year. If there's anything that's going on, big current event topics that we miss, it's because we're recording these all prior to December 19th. So just keep that in mind. But you'll still get 1 episode each week, so to carry you through the holidays. Just wanted to point that out. Guys, how are we doing this evening? Let's start with Bill. How are you tonight, sir?
Doing real good. Real good. Had a very eventful weekend. Let's see, yesterday, wrote some letters to Santa, my daughter and I.
Nice.
And then we made her breakfast, and then we journeyed out to get the old hair and nails did for her.
Ooh,
that was fun. We went the Christmas color nails. Then we picked up our ornaments we painted. Then we headed down to the old Palm Beach Gardens Mall.
Nice.
And right by there's a Santa mailbox. So we dropped our letters off there, went to see Santa, came home, watched Home Alone, put the ornaments on the tree, as you see. It's magnificent, and it's been a full weekend. Back to work awesome, or back on the grind at 5 a.m. tomorrow.
Bill, did I see that picture you sent earlier? Was that you like successfully doing some kind of hairstyle and a bow in Avia's hair? Was that what that was?
I've really stepped my game up.
Dude, it looked good, dude. It
most
was
improved hairdoer.
I need to take lessons because I have a high ponytail and a low ponytail. That's it.
I couldn't do anything about 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm doing braids. I'm doing it all.
Say I got a decent braid, but that's about it.
The braid, dude, Grace is begging me to do a braid. I got to learn.
It's not that bad.
It's pretty easy.
You get it.
Yeah.
Billy boy, how much for a set of cornrows?
Ooh. Well, that'll cost you, Greg.
What about those little poof balls that they do?
Oh, you want the broccolis?
Let's go.
Broccolis, is that what that's called? That's called
the broccoli.
That's terrible.
I grew up in the inner city Pittsburgh area, guys. I do know a thing or two.
Game recognized game.
That's right.
Look it up, Cory.
Talking about like the 17-year-olds at Planet Fitness, like broccoli,
that's a whole head of broccoli.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a broccoli
like
head.
They look like little cotton balls almost.
Oh, okay.
Like Kodak
little
Black.
Poofs.
Yeah. Yep. We can do without that.
So yeah, great weekend here. So can't complain.
Good, man. Glad to hear it. What about you, Greg? What's going on?
Oh man, living the dream. Had a good weekend. Got the last little bit of Christmas shopping. Now, I wanted to actually ask you guys, like, what do you guys prefer to do now for Christmas shopping? Now that places like Amazon and all that, everything is so prevalent and whatnot. Because I kind of did both this year. I was always very much a traditionally like, no, I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to buy it. But honestly, like Cyber Monday killed it this year, and you know there's a lot of really good deals. But yeah, dude, coming up against Saturday, late afternoon, early evening, in the mall, in Dick's Sporting Goods, in the grocery store, it was nuts everywhere I went. I was absolutely ready to get home because it was just a madhouse everywhere, and I can't stand it. But yeah, I was gonna get your guys' takes on that. Like, what's your go-to?
I rely on my faith in Santa Claus.
Yeah, duh. That's exactly what I was
For any
say.
kids listening to this, that's exactly right. Bill's
God, I hope no kids are listening to this, but
yeah I actually select YouTube. Asked me every time I upload this.
If if you're letting your kids listen to this, DCF's coming. Just so you know.
YouTube asked me when I upload the video, when I eventually get around to it, if it's made for kids, I make sure that I hit no. I double check.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Corey. I appreciate that. We all do.
Greg, to answer your question, we will end up at the store. Thus far this year, we have Amazon and Walmart online shit to just show up at the door. Walmarted like things online, but we will end up at the store at some point, I'm sure.
I gotta say, and no free plugs, but I mean, it's Amazon, so they could care less about us. But I
mean, we're pretty big.
True.
The Prime membership is clutch, and I never really realized it before. Mostly, I got Prime just because I got the TV service right with it and all that. But like my girlfriend ordered some stuff, right, and ordered it on Amazon, but she doesn't have Prime. And like her stuff, it just was just stuck in this constant cycle of like,
I didn't even know
have Prime nowadays.
And so she canceled the stuff. I ordered it on Prime. It's already here.
I didn't know that you could do that.
Get her with the program. She doesn't do white separately. Which, we're going to talk about that in a second.
Can you clarify you're talking about laundry, please?
Well, she doesn't need.
Oh yeah, good point.
She doesn't need.
This is white shirts, laundry. That's it. Sorry.
No,
that was a
You're gonna get me in trouble out here, boy. But no.
Wait, she doesn't separate her whites?
Tall, dark, and handsome, baby.
So. Yeah, I mean, I guess she doesn't need Prime if I got Prime, but yeah, it like the experiment of that was.
I don't think he ignored it. Oh yeah, he did ignore it.
He just moved right.
We're just gonna move right on.
Anyway,
somebody earmarked this because Corey, I have a funny story about our outing last night that our recovery fellow members went on. We all went on. So.
Yeah, that was a pre-podcast recording discussion about laundry.
Yes.
Sometimes I forget what we talked about pre-recording.
A riveting laundry discussion.
I'm half and half, Greg. We do Amazon Prime a lot. My wife, I am. I'm where it counts. This is completely off the rails. Yes. Agenda out the window. We do a lot of Amazon Prime, obviously. Amazon Prime really is like the best.
Dude.
It really is. My wife does a lot of Etsy and stuff like that. And then we do a lot of the store stuff as well. But Greg, to your point, like you said, Saturday afternoon traffic and all that. And like I have a flexible work schedule. She does most of the shopping, I'll be honest with you. But she's off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So she can go at like those prime, like soccer mom hours where there's, not as many there and stuff. But we do a little half and half. So we too did our Christmas Santa letters the other day too, Bill. The girls did. So
you hit the mailbox.
We just did it in our own mailbox, stuff like that. But
old school, baby.
Yeah, they decorated the envelopes and stuff. They were pumped.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a direction from the elf on the shelf, so it has to be, very important.
I will say this: I've taken a hard stand on Elf on the Shelf.
You should.
Elf on the Shelf's at our mom's. We're not doing Elf on the Shelf around here.
I can't even blame you.
We used to have the 3 generation behind video games. I'm not trying to hear about no Elf on a Shelf. No, sorry, kids.
My wife got a kit.
The DeLuca house. You're not doing.
My wife ordered a kit from Amazon Prime that gives like a whole bunch of like supplies and ideas and stuff. Yeah, so
it's out of control. It's out of control.
We do it, and it's the worst thing. Like
you don't do it. Your girl does it. You would never do that.
Corey, I remember this I remember this. I think we talked about this once. Corey gets in there. I remember that.
I hate it.
Corey, you let me know.
But he hates it. Which is how you know he's like he's really doing it because exactly.
Yeah, because when I'm laying in bed and I forgot, it's like.
Give us your last one that you did that you came up with the idea and it wasn't off the internet.
I got up early this morning.
It wasn't that good.
I bounced out of bed at 6:30 this morning because I'm like, the elf is still sitting
because
last
night. Elf is he got drunk last night and he's a little hungry.
When did this start? Like where did this come from?
It's actually been around for several years apparently.
Where in Russia? I mean, I've never heard of this until 3 years ago.
No.
Yeah, he probably brought it here. Thorn in my side.
We've been doing it. I want to say this is like the 3rd or 4th year we're doing it. I think something like that, maybe. Which it baffles me that my oldest Sophia isn't like, "Yo, mom and dad, why did this just start when I was like 5? Where's this been prior to that? But I guess, I guess that's, out of sight, out of mind.
Easily just, you can change the direction very easily.
She did come home from school the other day and be like, yeah, Mom, Dad, like some kids at school are saying that the Santa's not real and all that stuff.
Those
and
kids
I'm
are
like,
assholes.
I'm like, those kids are wrong, Sophia.
Hey.
They are wrong. And they have mean parents, I said. And don't you worry, sweetheart. Santa's totally real. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. Like she didn't need much convincing.
Get another year out of it.
So to completely hit a left turn here, I also want to note that Greg and I have been doing a fantasy football league for 9 prestigious years now. And we've actually hit the 9th year in a row that someone's threatened to kill somebody. So well, I'm glad we hit our mark.
That's how you know it's working.
It wasn't me this year either. It wasn't
Greg.
It's a lot.
I had to turn my phone off last night. I had to turn my phone off twice last night. So yeah, that was nice. Also, I will say this, Constantine, before the parade, I did the parade. We do the parade at work. We're real big on the parade. Shout out to us because we won best music again, right? So then Constantine calls me the day of the parade. He knows what's going on already, right? The parade starts at 5 o'clock. Like you take your float down there. It's a big deal. Like there's a ton of people. He calls me at 5:15 and goes, hey, dude, can you help me move my truck like down the street, like on the other side of Stewart, in the most Constantine move of all time. And like smoke just started coming out of my ears because I had invited him to come eat before the parade, trying to do the right thing. It's like an episode of Seinfeld or something. So then I'm like, absolutely not. I said, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Only I'm trying to coordinate a parade with 50 people in it right now. So I have a small speed bump in the road, So he goes, okay, well, no problem. I'll figure it out. So then, Constantine, you're still invited to the parade. He calls me. The parade actually starts going down the road at 6:30. Calls me at 6:34 and says, and I'm thinking maybe he needs to like get 100 feet to where we are. He's right in the area. He goes, hey, dude, I'm trying to hop in an Uber right now. I need you to send me your location right now. And I literally go, okay, I'm trying to wire an entire float at this point because the lights aren't working. I go, okay, no problem. And I hang up the phone and I continue to wire the thing. He calls me right back. He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? So I go, listen, dude, I'm going to send you my location and I'll see you when you get here. He never shows up. He never shows up. So yeah, shout out to you, Constantine. You're the best. Yeah. On brand.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough.
He's banned.
I don't know why he doesn't call me. I'm literally 2 minutes from his house. I could help him put his truck somewhere.
Don't say you might want to edit that
help
out,
him
dude.
Put it at the
I've done it
bottom of the
before.
Atlantic Ocean.
I've done it before.
He literally
parks at like 200 yards from my house.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was trying to be funny. I was like, dude, what is wrong with you, bro? So, but in other news, he didn't threaten to kill anyone either this year, which is really
a big deal
in the fantasy football streets. So,
well, that's because he turned in a piss poor performance. That's why he had nobody to threaten.
Hopefully, nobody actually kills somebody one day.
Yes,
it was getting a little serious last night.
We definitely hope
there were threats to call the police involved. I'm not going to get into it, but it was getting a little out of hand.
Sean.
We don't call the cops around here.
Yeah. I said you're kicked out of the league for that.
Handle around. What's up?
You got to ask me how I'm doing. So
I would love to know. I would love to know how you're doing up against a real man's football team. I'd love to know how you guys did.
Don't fricking spoil it.
I mean, I think anyone who's listening to this 4 days later, I'm pretty sure they know that the Eagles won today.
Bill, come back. All right. Where are you? All right. I wasn't going to start with that, but we'll start with that. So the Eagles happen to win tonight. I just want to point this out, and I'm not going to harp on it too much, Bill, because I didn't really do this to the other two guys that my Eagles also beat this year. But I just want to point out that we don't really give away group chat secrets normally, but this is straight out of the group chat. I had said that I wasn't going to be able to watch the game tonight because I was helping with my daughter's dance school clean up after the Nutcracker. And the exact quote was from Bill, "It's a shame because today you're going to see a real football team." I just wanted to ask you what you meant by that.
Can I explain?
Yeah.
You guys are not you. You've handled this eloquently, but you guys are disgusting on a wholesale like level, right? So I don't know. I'm gonna try to play this for you, and let's see if we can hear it. If not, I might be able to get it to Janine, but we might have to take it out. But this is from one of your comrades.
Oh boy. Oh,
Look out. Philadelphia Eagles. Pittsburgh Steelers. 425. Sunday. Be there, be square. Brush your hair. Take care without a snare. There's no glare. It's kind of rare. You're going to see it. It's Sunday fucking night, dude. It's going to be lit up. It's going to be a ball bath.
A what?
A ball bath.
Bloodbath. I'm sorry.
Bloodbath.
It's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a dog fight. The dogs are going to come out. The lions are going to come out. The real chumps. I'm going to see who's the chumps come Sunday, brother. We'll see, Billy Bill.
So that's what I had to deal with. So it's actually a wholesale condemnation.
Are we allowed to guess? Are we allowed to guess who that is?
Go
I know
ahead.
who
If
it
you
is.
guess it, I'll tell it.
You don't know who that is?
Mike Leone?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love you, Mike.
Well, I'll rest my
Billy
case there,
Bill.
though.
Billy Bill.
I
Billy
love
Bill.
it, Doc. That's one dude.
I'll rest my case there since he took care of it.
Yeah,
He sent me more, but I'll just leave it at that. I've got
All
my point
good.
across.
No,
Enough said.
I'm gonna end my Eagles thing with saying that I thought they might lose today. Glad they didn't, and
But you think they're going to lose
been good.
every week, though?
no,
I don't want to get too into it, Corey, but like I haven't watched full Eagles games, but like, God, dude, that tuck thing that needs to be banned. I mean, it's just stupid.
God.
It's stupid.
Somebody note
dude.
that. Somebody note that for a future podcast. We can debate that one.
I want to know one thing, and I do not like the Eagles, right?
You do though.
I also
I
don't
know
like
you
the
do.
Steelers. But so I
I
say
hate the
this.
Steelers. We know that.
Yeah, I say this. If it's so stupid, why don't other teams do it effectively or even more than they do?
can't.
That's
Because
kind of
our quarterback squats 600 pounds, along with our running back who squats more probably.
You do have to be
point, good point.
and pretty.
It's one thing that we can do, man. And
But I was looking at the formation. I don't think that Saquon's even involved. They bring like a tight end.
Saquon pushes on Jalen's ass.
Oh, he's behind him. Okay, yeah.
He's up.
that's a whole
You can't
nother
see him because he's up
conversation.
in that.
It's a gay
up in
shit.
that
That's what it
ass.
was.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I was watching the actual football play, not
brotherly
the gay
love.
shit going on.
yeah.
That brotherly love.
That's on a. Anyway,
Yeah.
There, brother.
two other things I want to mention really quick that I don't really have much to say on, but I do want to mention it. One, since I never shout out my kids, really, I feel like I want to shout out Lucy because she was really good in the Nutcracker this weekend. She did 3 shows and it was adorable and all that.
That's awesome.
Shout out
Um,
Lucy.
It's really fun. So I'm proud of her.
Good job,
Second,
Lucy.
there are unidentified 6 to 8 feet drones flying around New Jersey for
Yes.
some
So
reason.
somebody said that they're like the size of an SUV or something.
They're
like
huge.
They're huge.
They're huge.
What is going on?
Don't
There's
know.
a video. There's a video of some scumbag in South Jersey popping his AR off at it.
But shouldn't you do that?
See the
I kinda
rounds.
think
fl-
that might
Well,
not
what
be
would
a
you
bad
do?
idea.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. You
Why
ever
is
see
it only in
Independence
like
Day?
Northeast?
I don't know.
No, because there's a video out of I want to say the Milwaukee area that's
Could it be
showing the
China?
same thing. Could be.
I don't know.
It could be
what if-
China. They're saying.
What
it could
about
be
what about China?
I heard
Could be
Staten Island.
China.
Anyway, so obviously we don't get political here, but I will say concerning that our top of the world like military and
They're just like, yeah, I don't know.
they just don't know. Like nobody knows anything,
No
or
big
they
deal. It's just Jersey. Who
or
gives
they
a
do
fuck?
know, or the
That was
government
my
does
thought,
know,
Bill.
or they do
I
know
mean,
and they're lying, which
That's
they
the thing, dude.
I'm sure they have some idea. It's raining in case you guys can hear it.
I
in my
just,
headphones, just so you know.
I don't get it. Even if it's aliens or it's China, why
Chinese
Jersey?
aliens, dude.
It could be that too.
Tell Mike.
Why Jersey? For what reason?
Maybe something's going on there. Maybe,
Strange, man.
Greg, maybe we've been missing the boat on Jersey all this time.
No, I've been there. Okay.
Maybe
you,
they're
you
doing-
want to miss the boat to Jersey. You want to go completely the fuck around it. Okay.
You know
what
damn
They're
well.
doing like a new age Tuskegee airman thing, and they're just fucking air blasting syphilis everywhere.
Greg, oh my God.
Could be it.
Greg, you know damn well my part of Jersey's beautiful.
Corey
And-
does come from a beautiful part of New Jersey. I will say. Life moves a little slower there, kind of like the people.
That's an
but,
oxymoron.
Maybe the drug dealers in Camden are having their drops come through
Could be
drones.
too.
That could be a
I don't
thing.
know.
That could be too.
But anyway, so we'll find out. Maybe
The,
We're
the cartel
monitoring.
went. The cartel went airborne.
I bet you.
We'll
I bet you none of those things fly over Cowtown.
oh no,
Yeah.
they'll get blown out of the sky.
We
That's right.
do our last
There's
episode for
Falcon.
the year will be done this Wednesday. If there's any breaking news or updates, we will make sure to let the people know on Wednesday.
And hopefully New Jersey still exists and they didn't
Where's Cowtown, Greg?
vaporize it.
Cowtown is right outside of Corey.
What's in Woodstown?
Woodstown, New Jersey. Yeah, it's in Woodstown.
actually
New
called
Jersey.
You guys-
Cowtown?
Oh,
It's
dude.
it's like one of the oldest rodeos in the United States. It's but it's also this massive flea market. And it's the
That
weirdest
sounds about
fucking
right.
place I've ever been to, but it was also like cool as shit. But
Cowtown's
it is-
pretty cool.
it
You
is
guys would
very
clown it.
strange.
You guys would
It's
clown it, but
but you can literally get anything you want there. You want to
Like heroin or
a rocket
Or-
I
launcher.
know a couple
or,
guys.
Whatever.
You can buy a rocket launcher from a guy who's high on heroin, probably.
Yeah.
you can buy a lot
or you
of
could buy
fake things,
heroin
too.
from or you could buy
Guys high on rocket launchers. You ever done any
what
rocket
else?
launchers,
Yeah,
bro?
it's the new stuff. It's called rocket launcher. You
yeah.
remember the
Yeah.
good old days of just like regular ecstasy, guys?
Yes.
Those days, those days are
Yes.
long gone. They don't have that anymore.
When-
It's
no, they
Molly
don't.
and all
It does
kinds
not
of synthetic
exist.
Stuff.
Well, I
Just
guess
like
we'll stay
regular
sober then.
ecstasy, dude. Like
Pretty sure acid too. Like did you guys ever see the story on the guy that he got by the time he got busted, he had owned a missile silo. Greg, you would
Nice.
probably know about this. In Kansas, I mean, the guy was producing like 90% of the acid in the United States. You guys ever see this?
no, but that's
Look
awesome.
at I got to get his
We should
name.
do a deep
It's a
dive on
factual
him.
thing.
There's a
Yeah.
documentary about it.
We
saw
promised
it, right,
the
Greg?
listeners.
Yeah.
We promised
Yeah.
the listeners more deep dives on shit like that to come the new year. We promised that. We're gonna.
We're gonna do that
Those-
guy.
those were
actually.
good.
Let's
Those were good.
earmark that. Yeah, because that
fine.
guy's
Put it in-
story is nuts.
Put it in the agenda.
I don't even know
Um,
where that is. All right,
It's on the Google Doc.
Corey, you got it right.
We
No.
all got it. We'll send
That's
it.
how you're flexing. Right?
I'm just
So I got a quick funny story. So last night, our group, one of the meetings I attend regularly, recovery meetings, we had Cory attends it too. We had a big
You go to
outing.
meetings?
and we had a big at Pop Stroke, which is like that fancy putt
Tiger
place.
Woods.
Tiger Woods, half owned, whatever. And it's like it's not like mini golf. It's not like there's no clowns and waterfalls. It's like real putting, but it's kind of hard. And they have two courses. They have the black course and the red course. And the black course is a little easier. The red course is supposed to be harder. They're 18 holes, all kinds of slopes. They're really fast. We went. There was like 25 of us, and we played. I was my wife and I, and we paired up with two other couples in our group, and then there was like 3 or 4 of our other group, just in little pods and stuff. And we played the black course first, which is definitely a little easier. And as we were walking towards the red course, this a group of guys who are of the darker skin variety walked by, and I, not trying to do anything wrong, like just like being friendly. They were like laughing. They were trying to figure out which course to zen. I was like, hey guys, the black course is way easier. You'll have way more fun on that. And they all just kind of looked at me. And the two guys, the two other husbands I was with, they just kind of looked at me. And I was like, no. The red course, I've heard the red course is like way harder. And like it all was fine. Like nobody wanted to beat anybody up. But I took 2 things from that. It was
good
like,
God.
it was embarrassing, but I truly, genuinely didn't mean anything by it. If it was named the purple course, I would have said the purple course is way easier. It's just like it was funny, but at the same time, it's like a weird kind of ode to like what our society's like today. You know what I mean?
I would call that's not like late night racism. That's like mid afternoon racism. You did like an
Yeah,
early,
mean-
midday racism is what you
I was
did.
like, hey, it's way more. It's
Well,
way.
Sean,
the black
they
course
had
is easier.
no
You'll have
way-
way more fun.
But they had no way to know if they didn't know because I was just there, and if you don't
For
see
sure.
that sign, I'm thinking this
sure.
dude just some cracker
Yeah,
just tried to pull the old.
literally.
Yeah, they were
No,
like,
and
this
that's
guy
why-
separates whites. Great.
And
Yeah,
asshole.
my buddy
this
John.
guy's like a 50s segregationist motherfucker with the beard. With the
Stay
beard
over there. No. But, like,
That's your course.
That was the
Yeah, it was-
equivalent
it was-
of being like, can you guys get away from me and my wife? Thanks.
Yeah. You guys are on the wrong course.
That's
Wow.
terrible.
it was that. It was like that. And I was like, oh, no, I just mean, and my buddies Mike and John were like, dude, I was like,
Yeah.
that legitimately didn't mean anything.
There's
by
no
it,
digging your way out of that one.
Yeah,
You just
yeah.
you keep it
It
moving.
was funny. So
So,
the comments earlier about, Greg's girlfriend not liking whites or something like that. That's what rang that bell. Just kidding.
No,
just
no,
kidding.
Oh, yeah,
Is she in the room with you?
No, she's not,
okay.
but she will inevitably listen. So
Okay, well, please
no.
tell her there's a joke there. But
there was a joke there, yes.
we had fun. We missed you, Cory. We had a good time though.
yeah.
We had fun.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So the idea for tonight is to do a little bit of a year in review podcast. So we haven't been quite doing this for a year. This is episode 45. Cory, quick, how many weeks are in a year?
52. What?
Good. Okay, just
you
making,
serious?
just listen. Just keeping everybody on their toes is part of it's in my job description. We haven't been quite doing this for a year. We started, like middle end of February, just before the Super Bowl last year. I'd like to make this a regular thing, God willing, that this podcast goes on for years and years. But we wanted to do kind of like a quick year in review. Each of us picked just like a couple of our favorite episodes. There might be some overlap. I'm sure there will be, and just kind of reminisce a little bit on it. And then we'll get into our spiritual topic. Does anybody want to go first? We didn't really discuss rotation. I'm prepared, but if somebody else wants to go, by all means, please
Fire it
go.
in, Sean.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I obviously had like just a quick honorable mention. Our first episode, only, and kind of cheesy, but only because like it literally is our first episode. It's kind of when this all came together. We were just kind of talking shit back and forth to each other for like quite a few months in a group text message thread, and the idea just came up, was like, guys, we should start a podcast. And like nobody thought anybody was that serious about it until I was like, oh, hey, my cousin is like a podcast producer and manager. She's got a company. And everybody was like, really? And it kind of happened pretty quick from there. So our first episode, which was, is anybody without looking it up, can anybody remember the name?
I'm going to
No.
guess recovery and rivalries, a brotherly dive into Super Bowl fever and cultural
What a
touchdowns.
dick.
Yeah.
Is
That's great memory.
got
though.
it?
Great memory. You got it.
Oh.
You got it.
Wow.
You win.
Bravo.
Even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while.
You
ladies
win
and gentlemen.
absolutely nothing, and the points don't mean anything. Just like whose line is it, anyways? So I got to give that one a shout out. I'm gonna go listen to that soon because I just feel like it's gonna be just all over the place. I had the one we did about the program, the Netflix documentary, Total Eclipse of the Trudge, from WWE to Wasp and stuff like that. That was just a cool one, and that's obviously I'm a little biased towards that one. I had episodes 16 and 17.
Yep.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Remember?
No idea.
Everything was great except for the concert after. For
Oh,
live,
that was-
live from
yeah.
Janine's studio, when we did live from Janine's
The
studio.
live.
Those were probably the two best. We had a lot of fun.
That's probably on all of our lists, I'd imagine.
Shout out to Janine. Yeah, the pizza was great. Just
Pizza was good.
the only thing that bothered me was Greg's Jeep that he rented. It said like Mayhem on the side or something like that. I don't know.
Mayhem.
What?
It had some weird. Remember, I asked you. I was like, "Why does your?"
I think it said Wrangler, Sean.
No, it
That's
had
the
no.
model of the
No,
vehicle.
it didn't. It had a different name on it. It had like the Memphis version or whatever. It had like, remember how you explained this to me, Greg. I was like, why does your Jeep
Oh,
say
okay, yeah,
Memphis?
maybe
And you're
it-
like, oh, it's like the special gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but
Yay.
Wow, you
Not that
really
there's
want to
anything wrong
offend
with that.
everybody tonight.
Now-
and then I
now-
had I couldn't really pick another one. But I just did the one with Robert when we had our one and only guest, because that was a really cool episode. I thought it just flowed really good, and there's a lot of good ones. The Monsanto one was good. The HOA, Homeowners Association one, was really good. I mean, I was going through them. I was going through them and going. So that's what I got. I thought it's been fun. It's been I don't really know what I expected, but there's obviously a part of me that thought like overnight we were just going to hit it big, like, or at least not thought, but like that, like, what if, like, what if somebody out there, like the right person listened and was like, these guys are amazing, and, all that stuff. But I obviously know that that's not necessarily the way it works, and that's okay, because the most important thing is we're having fun.
Yeah, my expectation was to be literally right here where we're at almost a year later. So we achieved that.
45 episodes in, man, though, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So been fun. I definitely got some ideas.
Are you guys telling me I'm the only person that's made money off of this?
Yeah,
actually sold our likeness.
My OnlyFans subscriptions have gone through the roof since starting this thing, boys.
Yeah, Greg's been taking pictures of his feet and putting them up.
Oh,
there.
the feet pic, the
Feet finders.
the
popping.
Indian men love the feet, and they don't care what they're attached to. So,
low key, I don't know enough about that world, but like, if it literally only is like you just taking pictures of your feet and posting them and you can be anonymous, like they're anonymous feet.
what you gotta do? You gotta do.
They
things.
are
Like,
anonymous.
you gotta like stick them in a bowl of milk and stuff like this.
The thing is,
I wouldn't
people
care.
have to want to buy them off you. I don't think girls buy dudes' feet pics.
Well, I wasn't saying me. I was saying like if my wife ever wanted to do it, like I think I'd be totally cool.
Don't
with
broadcast that publicly.
that. I think I'd be cool with that.
People
you
are
know?
gonna,
Just her feet.
you're gonna get anonymous emails
with her
now.
consent.
Of course, with her consent.
How much we talking? $20 is $20, hon.
I'm telling you.
I don't know. I think
It's
it
a
might
round of
be-
golf these
I think
days?
the whole non-consent feet thing might be worth more. I think they
Yeah,
buy those
on the
for
black,
more.
like the
there.
black foot
That's
market.
assault, brother.
Yes, it is.
Anyway, so it's been good, and we got some ideas for the new year. We're gonna get together and do a little collab and just kind of put some new ideas out there, hopefully for 2025. 2025 is gonna be a good year. I can already feel it's gonna be a good year. So
The year of the Trudge.
Maybe
The
the
year
rest
of
of
the
us will
Trudge.
make
There you
money,
go.
not just Greg.
who wants to go next?
I'll
fire
go.
it in.
'Cause- oh,
Go ahead. No, Corey, please.
No,
Corey,
you go.
fired in.
No, you hang up first. No, you hang up first. I knew you weren't gonna hang up. I knew.
No,
you
we
were
can't do this long of a segue for Corey, dude. You got to let him in. Come on, Corey.
All right.
Fire,
Yeah, I'm
fire
not-
it in. Let's go, right?
I'm not prepared in the slightest bit. I actually forgot what we were talking about tonight because I was busy today. But number one, first off, I want to just say our first episode, I think, is not a favorite of mine. I think it was the second episode that I thought, like, okay, we don't completely suck. So that's good. So shout out to the second episode,
nice.
which
I kind of agree.
which is titled. I just noticed this, by the way.
Cream
It's titled
rises to the
The
top.
Cream Rises to
Yeah.
the Top. Honorable mentions here. Episode 3 is titled Just the Tip, and
Yeah,
maybe a
that
little
was a
more.
good one. That was a good
And then episode 4 was titled Pumpers and Dumpers.
one. One hit
So-
wonders, right?
So yes, so like we were sexually charged there.
Yeah, why don't we move away from our sexual charge?
No.
Dude,
I know.
Next, I'm gonna say the Ticketmaster episode. That was episode 13.
Good one. That was on my honorable mention.
I'm also somewhat biased to that because I spearheaded the Ticketmaster talk, but I still hate those bastards.
That's the one and only research Corey did for the whole year,
That was it. That was the last time I did research.
and the first time.
I feel like you just knew that from Dave. I don't
Yeah.
think you really researched it.
I knew it from personal experience, I guess.
Right.
But I did do a little research for it. God, what else? So I did want to mention the 2 episodes that we did in studio because I think there was in the 45 or whatever episodes it has been, there was that kind of chemistry is only harnessed in person. I feel like
Right,
when we're all
right.
together. So that was nice. And then I think possibly my favorite episode. Yeah, I'm gonna go with it. Favorite episode was Greg's talk on the Warrens in spooky season,
Oh, yeah.
which unfortunately
That was the
Sean
one I was
wasn't-
traveling.
That's
for,
on my
but
list, too.
I listened to most of that though.
but that was really good. And also, whatever skeleton he had behind him like fell over as he was talking about
The,
spooky
the
shit. which
Greg
made it-
talk on
all
the
the best.
Warrens, like I'm not joking. Like scared. Like I was scared. Like
yeah, it
I was
was
in my
real.
office, and I was in my office. It was dark as fuck outside of like everywhere, and it's like a yard, a construction yard. I left out that motherfucker, ran in my truck and got my gun. Real quick, bro.
That's like when you're young.
I
and
had
you
my
live
gun in my hand, like for like 3 blocks out of that motherfucker, dude. I'm telling you,
That's
I was
like
freaked
when
out.
you're really young young and you live on a 2-story house, and it's like you got to go upstairs to bed and you shut the lights off downstairs. You just run upstairs as fast as you can.
All I heard was
like,
Sean's voice in my head. Bill, you can't shoot a ghost.
Yeah.
I will say I'll end my little part here with this. I mentioned the first episode not being my favorite. However, I think that was actually the first time you officially dubbed me a curmudgeon, and I didn't even know what that word meant. So I learned a new word. It was an accurate word, and I really liked that clip. So
Accurate appraisal. Yep.
That's all.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Who's next?
I have a book actually, Corey. I'm going to send you a copy. It's called The Portable Curmudgeon.
That's me. I go places.
Nice.
Yep, we're going to send that over your way on me.
Sick.
Bill, you next?
I can be next. All right. So for me, I kind of look at these things and I was like going through the memories.
Yeah.
No,
I read the
like,
descriptions.
yeah, and kind of like the things I was going through throughout the year and things like that. You know what I mean? So like some of them, like I can see the difference in you know, the backstory that I know of things. I also say some of our funniest stuff's probably been edited out, but I agree with Corey that the second episode was more of a hit for me. I'm obviously biased, but I like that when we debate the top 5 lists.
Yeah,
Those are always pretty good. I loved when Greg went on the tirade about gym etiquette. That episode was pretty funny. That was a good one. I think that
all the little soliloquy ones that Greg did were really good. Like
the
driving one,
or
the
Stanley
one,
Cup,
all of them,
or the Stanley one was really good. Yeah, I agree. Greg's soliloquies are excellent. Or Greg and Sean, or excuse me, Corey doing when they went to WrestleMania was cool. Sean with the Jamaica child abuse story, that was cool. And then sorry about that.
It's okay. If you're a new listener to this podcast, you might want to go back and
check that one out.
And check that one out. That would have been what was that? Episode 9. Boys and girls. Episode.
Email 9. Sean for the number for the class action lawsuit as well.
There you go.
And so I really liked the whole spooky segments were good.
Yeah, they were good.
And what was the one? Oh, Mark trying to find the MySpace page was a good one. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Which still has not been found.
No, we now realize that man's full of shit. The YSL one as well. YSL, not debate, but how we analyzed the YSL situation. You know, I learned a lot too. The Monsanto episode. We covered, I think we covered a good variety of just different things as far as, I even got into my World War II conspiracy theory world over there. That was cool. But also like on the recovery segments, I think that I know you guys have too, but I think we've all kind of like really pushed ourselves in that, like in transparency and creativity and kind of like keeping the evolution of recovery fresh. I like that. So I mean, all of it's good. I there's never a time I've gotten on here and not really enjoyed myself. So, but those are the ones that come to mind for me.
I agree, Bill. There's some nights I'm like, man, I'm tired, but as soon as we like get on and get going, I'm good to go.
For the people, that was me tonight.
Yeah.
Sean was talking before the thing. I said, "Pray us in, Sean." He was mid sentence. I don't even think he heard me. I was like, "Let's go, bro."
All right, I was dozing on the couch from like 8:10 to 8:30. I set an alarm just to make sure I woke up.
Yeah, it's just fun to get on with the boys. You know what I mean, and just chop it up. So on to you, Greg.
DJ.
Yeah,
Khaled.
I mean, you guys didn't leave a lot there. Like you named off all my favorites. We've come a long way from Stanley Cups and Target Karens. I can't say whether or not we're any better or any worse, but
we've just come a long way.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Touche.
I don't know about any of you. I'm still waiting to buy my robotic flamethrower dog.
I remember.
I'm still interested.
Waiting for.
I'm still interested in the Stanley Cup sex toy counterpart. that you
Oh,
promised
and
that you'd be
I'm
sending me?
I'm
I
interested
promised
in the
you guys
Sean,
an honest review.
Sean owes some
Yeah.
gentleman out there Trudge Report underwear too, I think.
Oh, do I?
Oh,
yeah, remember? He said if
We've
you
made,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
we are liars.
It was
We
Jeff,
haven't come
too.
through on any.
But I
Sean,
thought
you owe
that-
the men's.
I thought it never. I forget the pretense
No,
of that. I
Jeff
remember
nailed it, and you said I'm gonna
Did
send
he?
you some Trudge underwear or something. I will have to review it, but I'll ask
Okay.
Jeff.
I remember like the context, I remember that happening. I just don't remember the context.
What else is there, Greg?
Well, I will say that, like, as far as like, I don't. There's been a lot that we've done, and I really did enjoy doing the gym etiquette segment. I really
Yeah.
love that one. I like the other ones too. I like bashing on HOAs, and I liked talking about shitty drivers on the road. But I really enjoyed doing the gym one because
And apparently
allowed me to let
Nobody
loose.
listened to it because it's still not better in that place. But whatever.
It still isn't. However, they finally got a hack squat machine, which was awesome. So,
There's one in my planet too.
it's a beautiful, beautiful machine. I loved the spooky season. I loved all the weeks of it. I enjoyed doing the Warrens because I love their stories and stuff like that, and I love spooky stuff like that. But I loved that entire month and everything we did in it. It was a cool concept. It seems like it was just the other week. That was 10 weeks ago we did that. It's
Gone
crazy.
by fast, dude.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that. The deep dives were fun. The fact that there was a documentary that was released that was, where one of the programs that Sean was in, and we got to learn a little bit more about what Jamaica really was like. Was fun. Being in the studio was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, that was truly.
When are you coming
awesome.
down again, Greg? You got anything planned?
I've
Or are we
got
just,
to.
We're just looking at
Book
Dave
it now.
Are we just looking at Dave next year? When does Dave come next year, Corey? Do you know yet?
It'll be
The-
around Memorial Day weekend, I'm sure.
The rumors are.
It used to be my birthday weekend, July. Remember
It
that?
was.
Yeah. It's
But
And then
is
he'd
he
listen to
pretty
us.
much? Is he pretty much Memorial Day now?
I think he's
Not-
trying that.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Well, if that's the case, we can wait. I don't want to wait that
Last
long.
time I
Steve, but we
talked to
can
him, he said he wants to keep it Memorial Day. But,
wait. Got it. Got it. Thank you.
Last time you were on a conference call with him.
Yeah.
He was on Microsoft Teams meeting.
But
with
no,
him.
hopefully it'll be before then, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, I as far as our recovery segments go, I love those.
Some of those have been awesome.
And to be honest with our listeners, full disclosure, so there are times when I come in and I'm not necessarily really prepared for what we're going to talk about. Yeah, we talk about it beforehand, or we might, we're going to do this reading or whatever. And sometimes I find that I can be real and raw and truthful and just, kind of let it come right off of what I'm feeling in my soul. And those are some of the best conversations I think that we've had.
Bill's gotten super vulnerable in some, like in a good way, like
absolutely.
deeply vulnerable in some that have kind of blown my mind a little bit.
Yeah, we're
And
all just
so-
screwed when we run for office, but whatever.
Well, yeah.
That's gonna be part of our campaign.
I'll just be
But
the
yeah.
guys behind the scene.
We aired that shit out.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's some of the best stuff. Yeah. There's when we first started doing those for the first 3 months or so, we were on a pretty solid format of what they were, and now it's been kind of able to evolve from that, and we're able to talk about relevant stuff and mix that in, and all in the forefront of our minds, just to help other people. So that's the most important part of every episode that we do for me. Absolutely. So, but yeah, I love it. Love you boys. Love being on this thing. And here's to many, many more.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. That's 2025 is gonna be a good year. I can feel it with that. So I know we all got some ideas. We're gonna come together.
I don't have one.
Just
We knew
pretend,
that.
Corey. Just pretend.
All right. Yeah.
All right, let's we'll segue here. We're doing a reading tonight, spiritual reading. We're gonna break it down. Each of us get a few minutes to share on it. I've already sent it to Janine. So if you are watching this episode on the watching platforms, you will see this pop up for a minute or so during this portion of it. No surprise, I got my Emmett Fox reading from today, and I kind of was looking at the last few days, but today's was really good. It was kind of it's like short and sweet, and almost at first glance seems really simple, but then like I got some stuff I want to say on it. I know you guys will too. So it's called "You Cannot Have Both." You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You cannot have peace of mind and have your ailment too. You cannot have a sense of divine love and have your jittery nervousness too. You cannot have a feeling of toleration and kindliness and faith and have your digestive troubles too. You cannot have harmony continually unfolding in your life and enjoy gossip and criticism too. You cannot have power in prayer and the luxury of resentment and condemnation too. You cannot build a new consciousness and a new body and live mentally in the dead past. And from Joshua 24, choose you this day whom ye will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, baby.
Pretty sure that's on a sign in
L.
like most houses or something.
Capital L. So recency bias, because like I read it today, but I think it kind of goes, it's a good kind of like, I guess, year-end cap to all of it. And we've kind of been a theme in a lot of our recovery segments and spirituality segments is one of the first spiritual principles and like spiritual lessons I was taught by my mentor was I can't pray and wish for like harmony and prosperity and all these good things for me while hoping that my neighbor, literal neighbor or just fellow brother and sister, like why hoping they like, I hope they get everything they deserve and they're a piece of crap and this and that. Like I can't want these good things for myself while wishing bad things for my neighbor, for my fellow brethren. I have to want those good things, everything good in my life that I want. I have to pray that you and other people, and especially the people that I don't like very much, that they get that good stuff in their life too. And that's kind of the central theme of like, I can't pretend, and a lot of people do it. And I know I've been guilty of it. Like I put on this persona of being spiritually fit and I have everything figured out. And then like after, I'm with a group of guys and just gossiping and talking shit about one of our other brothers that might be in pain or in need, or obviously still sick. And naturally, I'm sure I know I do, I've engaged in gossip, but it's really one of those, it truly is one of those things that I try to be very, very conscious of. And I do my best not to partake in it. And I try to call others out on it, not in a mean or condescending, like uppity way, but just kind of like, hey guys, like how do I do it tactfully? And because that kind of stuff, not only is it not good for me, it's not good for the people that I'm gossiping with and their own spiritual condition. And it's not good for the person we're gossiping about, even if they never find out. It just puts bad juju, bad vibes, like all that stuff into the world. And there's enough of that in our world. There's enough bad crap going around. And like, we've all been saved from a living dead. And I think it's just our job to just try to put some of that good back in the world and try to, help others to see that a couple different circumstances, and we can be that hurting brother or sister. We can be that one that's in pain, that's going through stuff if things turn a different way. And it's not far-fetched that any of us could be in those situations. And I know some of us on this pod have been through some really heavy shit, especially in the last year or so. And how do we use that stuff and take those situations and turn them into positives? And like we talk about, like, we hope that our experience can benefit others, and no matter how far down the darkness and into the darkness we've gone, that our experience can benefit others. So I don't know, I just thought it was a really good one. And simple reading and just very straightforward, but like appropriate. So I have Greg going next. If you want to go next, Greg.
Yeah, for sure. And I really appreciate the reading. It reminds me, every sentence in there, if I break it down just line by line, like I can identify myself in there. On both sides of it, I can identify my actions, certainly before I got sober, but definitely in sobriety as well, where I've not been perfect, and certainly too, like my internal self, like I can identify in there, and that's normally what it is when I screw up, or and I have the tendency to like Sean was saying, like we're talking shit with the boys or whatever, and I have to internalize that at some point and look at that and be like, damn, dude, you've been there before, or even if you haven't been there before, like, well, who are you to say this about so and so or think that about so and so? You're not walking in their shoes. You're not carrying the load that they're having to carry right now. So I try to take that harder on myself, and I certainly try not to participate in it. I'm not perfect at all.
Right.
I one of the biggest problems I think with any kind of gathering of people that you're going to have in any walk of life, and recovery is no different, is that it can get, for lack of a better term, high schooly sometimes, right? It can get, I think what we have to be careful for those of us in recovery is we have to be careful that we're not acting like that, not only because this is life or death for all the people involved, and something like that could push somebody in an opposite direction, but on the flip side of that, there's going to be people that will say things like, "Oh, look at all those recovery cult people," and the way that word gets thrown around, and that's not what we are. But people don't know that, and when we start acting in that manner, it can turn people off, and that's not what we're in the business of doing, right? So, I do remember. And, I don't say this to hurt anybody's feelings or anything like that. And, I think maybe to kind of show how we all kind of grow as people. But I remember very early on in my recovery journey, I was, we told this story before, but I lived in a halfway sober living community, and Billy Bill was the manager of said establishment, and he caught us, and I remember I felt so dumb after it was all said and done. But like, I'm the kind of guy, you guys all know this, and I'm sure our listeners do too. Like, I'm the kind of guy, like, I want to get a laugh out of everybody. Laughter is amazing. It's healing. It's all that kind of stuff. And I will sometimes, a lot of time, push things too far to get a laugh. And this was right around the time where memes were becoming very popular, and not only were they very popular, but you could make them on your phone. And I know that that's like, well, fucking how old are you, dude? But this is like when I was getting sober.
I just discovered it this year, so
so yeah, man, I was me and a group of people were using pictures of people like from Facebook or whatever, and then we were making memes out of them, and we were passing them around to a group of people, and we were all having a really good time laughing about it, laughing at each other or whatever. But the thing is we weren't laughing at each other. We were laughing at other people that never knew about it, And Bill caught wind of that, and I got to give the guy his props, because he came and he pulled each one of us aside. And he's like, who do you guys think you are? Like, what are you doing? Like these people are here trying to better their lives, and you guys are, making fun of them for what? You're no better than these people. And it was like the first time, again, because I'm in early recovery. I'm learning how to live again. I'm learning how to laugh again, and all that kind of stuff. So, but I had to really take a step back and be like, man, like, I didn't even think about that. Like, me, the thoughtful person, would have never even thought about that I could be damaging people in that way. So, certainly what I took away from the reading, and so yeah, great
good
reading
stuff.
tonight.
Good stuff, Greg. Thank you for sharing that. Cory, you're next on my list, bud.
Thank God, because I was going to lose everything I have in my brain to say. First off, when you fired this in earlier, I was gonna try and also, Greg, get a laugh and be like, "Oh, that reading's taking shots at me, haha." But that wasn't funny, so I didn't say it. But but I did feel that way because I've been on the negative side of that reading, for sure. And to what you guys are saying, like specifically like the gossip and criticism and stuff, like, when I don't like something about somebody else, it's because I can spot it in myself, right? And I think that you guys kind of said that in a way, at least. And it makes it all the more like hypocritical for me to like laugh and joke about what other people are going through in that case. Because I mean, Sean is uniquely seated in this group of people here, where he's probably heard the worst of all of our lives. So I always kind of find that funny when I'm like outwardly not acting appropriate, but I also know that Sean is like standing there literally knowing what a dick I've been in my life, and it's not a great feeling. But you know, like where I like not justify it, but where I like give myself a pass is that my delusion sometimes will say, well, as long as you're like not outwardly hurting somebody with words, like basically as long as they don't find out what you're saying about them, it's fine, because you can be Mr. Compassion to them and Mr. Helpful to them, and they won't know what you said on the side with your boys or whatever. We have some literature that asks us to ask ourselves nightly whether we were kind and loving toward all. And even though I fall short of that constantly, I do know, and I will say here, that kind and loving toward all does not mean like just to their face. It means holy,
in spirit too. Yeah.
In spirit, kind and loving toward all. I kind of wonder how many times I've checked that box and said I was kind and loving toward all today, and really wasn't. But, you know, without like burying myself too much, it's something that that I need to take a look at. And you know, we'll continue doing so. Lastly, this entire reading kind of just reminded me of something that Sean used to say a lot, and I'm sure still does, but that we can't just try to like live the spiritual life in 9 out of 10 areas of our lives. It's got to be 10 out of 10 to the best of our ability anyway, because the one area in my life will take over the other 9. And I'm a walking example of that. So come along for the ride if you want to know more.
Thank you, Cory.
That's about as honest as I can get here tonight.
That's good. No, that's good. Bring us home, Mr. DeLuca. After you unmute yourself.
Do that first.
Yeah.
Great idea. I love the reading though. So yeah, man, you can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You cannot have honor and hang out with thieves all day. You know, you can't let your body act in the flesh all day and think you're not going to sell your soul. You can't hang out with promiscuous women of multitudes and think you're going to find your wife. You can't, you know, these things are true. Like you can't, I love the thing about you can't have resentment and power in prayer, you know, because when I find that so true, like when I'm harboring onto something, even if I'm going through it, because some of that stuff is staged out for me. Like I might have a big resentment that it's like I'm processing out during those seasons. I don't have the contact that I know I need. You know what I mean? I just know I'm kind of just processing, you know, and it's a rough time because I'm trying to have my cake and eat it too until I fully let go of that resentment. So, I don't know. It's just for me that hits deep because you just can't have both. And as I build new things in my life, I realize I cannot build a new home on sand. I just can't do it, right? I can't build something of magnitude or significance in my life. As far, I think Sean just fell in his washer. And then
We'll know when it sounds off.
and then expect anything substantial to come from it. So if I continue to act in those behaviors, I think we all do it from time to time. Maybe the magnitude shifts, but I continue to remain stagnant in that activity. How many things do you want to have a solution for are the things that you should bring to God, right, Sean? Like
right.
All
That's
of them, right? I should bring all of them to God if that's what I want the solution for. I won't have fear if I have faith. I won't have, you know, that whole saying. So I don't know, man. I love that one. I really appreciated that. I actually just read it at the beginning of the pod, to be honest, but I appreciated it for sure. And it hit deep. So
yeah, Yeah, and something I thought when I read it this morning, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And obviously, we understand the context of like in the reading what we're talking about. But I do want to say though that like you can have a lot of good things in your life, and in that sense, you can have all the glory, all the prosperity, as long as we know where it comes from, which is God. It's not of our own making, and that we're doing our damnedest to like give away as much of it as we can to our fellow brothers and sisters. And in that sense, I can have it all, right? But what it's saying is I can't have my negative thinking and think that I'm gonna like win at the game of life at the same time. So
And in that regard, though, it's essential to continue to bathe your soul, though. If
mhm.
you go along and you just think you're going to accomplish all this stuff, and like I know for me, and I think this is for humans, not just people in recovery, but and you don't like check in and aren't actively tooling yourself, like retooling yourself, working on that,
Right.
you're eventually, because it's easy to get caught up in the it's pretty soon as I started doing this, I
Yep.
accumulated this, you know.
Yep.
So right.
Absolutely. Good stuff. Anybody got any parting thoughts? Any little last minute comments they want to share?
Eagles Commanders this week, buddy.
I'm aware. I'm aware. Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Shout out to our listeners. Please like, follow, and share on all socials at Trudge Report Pod. Email us, trudgereportpod@yahoo.com. Send mailbag requests for topics, questions, and comments to any of these handles. Remember, we are all here. If anyone wants to talk about recovery, our experience, if you're struggling with some form of addiction, anything at all. Thank you again to Janine and Stella Mix Podcast Management. Good night. God bless, and may you trudge the road of happy destiny. We will see you all next week.